Hi y'all, this is going to be a walk and a talk. It's mostly going to be about justice and the fact that I don't believe in justice. And the fact that when usually I say I don't believe in justice, liberal white people or liberal black people or liberal, of all different ethnicities, defensively say, well, blah, 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 and then turn it into a binary. Or I believe just when Jesus speaks of justice, or I believe in justice of this, or blah, 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 blah. So let's talk about what justice is and why I don't believe in it. Because I'm a smart person with a lot of education who taught in prisons for a long time. And grew up raised as Southern Baptist and was a Presbyterian member for 12 years before they, kicked me out because I called them out on their misogyny and stuff like that. So what justice is a Greek humanist concept. And what humanism means is the belief that came from a certain district, a certain region of the world that believes that humans are the reason for creation, that the humans are center of all things, and that a whole system of essentializing and providing the reasons why humans are superior to the rest of creation, such as we are the only ones with communication. We are the only ones that do this, or we are the only ones that do that. Modern science has debunked every single one of those essentialations. Modern science has said, no, even trees have communication and a language. We're not so special. And in fact, we might be the immature ones, the ones that need to mature a little bit and realize that this whole thing is a collective and we're supposed to be in this together, not dominating everything. We're supposed to be caring for each other. There's supposed to be diversity. Now, justice then comes in and says that we need to make decisions based on fairness. But maybe fairness isn't a big enough word, so we'll say justice. We'll just do just. And what that means is to do good to your friends and evil to your enemies. Let me say that again. It's a way to justify doing good to your friends and evil to your enemies. And the way that very quickly materializes is we say humans are the center of everything, and humans should be treated a certain way because they're human. But then we say, but humans are based on, we're really saying men. So who is the most human? And then everybody else gets to assimilate into that standard. If everybody else can just act like a middle class white human being, man, then everything would be good. We would have access to the good life if we just acted like them and did what they said to do, how they said to do it, and when they said to do it, and again, be like them. If we will all be the same, in other words, we'll have no conflict, and I can all be friends. But if you're different from me, then you are my enemy. Because difference is dangerous, according to humanism, according to justice, according to Greek imperialism. Now, a lot of people have bought into these systems as the good life, and they're the good people, because a foundation of this justice and human-centered logic is that if you become the same, you can benefit from the system. If you assimilate enough, then you can benefit the system, because everybody's supposed to be the same. Now, what we see in nature, though, what we've realized is that if we clear cut stuff and we put trees in rows, then those trees aren't ever healthy. Morning. And what we see in nature is biodiversity, and that everything is more healthy when we have biodiversity. But humans still think that if we're all the same, we'll be healthy. If we assimilate to be the same, that's healthy. That's not natural. That's against nature. Humanism is against nature. Now, again, people get confused when I say humanism, because they want to say conservative and liberal. And they want to be all binary about conservative and liberal. Because, the conservatives are telling everybody that to be different is dangerous. And that, anybody different from you is dangerous. And here is the truth. I'm dangerous. My difference is dangerous. Because ultimately, what I really don't believe in is male supremacy. And that is what justice is. Male supremacy. That is what humanism is. Male supremacy. It's a whole system convincing the whole world that cisgender men should be in charge. Because cisgender men are made in the image of Aristotle or Robert E. Lee. You choose. Or maybe if you live in a different country and you have a different skin tone, that old man in the sky looks a little bit different to you, but it's still an old man in the sky. It is still a lie. Because science can show us right now, every day, that we don't need cisgender men anymore. I mean, people that are attracted to them and stuff, they still have some stuff. But the reality is, and here's the thing, your perspective does not change reality. My perspective does not change reality. We are real confused. We've been confused in academia for a long time, and now that confusion has spread to modern culture, everyday life. And it's because those liberal men, mostly liberal men, trying to convince everybody that they was the ones that was right. Whereas there's conservative men in the churches trying to convince everyone that they's the ones that's right. And they're just making fun of each other. And here's the thing, they just differ from each other. And neither one of them was ever right. Because they were both organized and judging everything in comparison to themselves. Saying, I am the norm, I am the good, I am the right, and anything compared to me that is not like me is therefore deficient. And danger and difference is dangerous, see? Except when we look at nature, difference and biodiversity is what God created. And what we as human beings have been trying to destroy since we emerged. We are not gods. We were not intended to transform into gods. And we were not intended to all be the same. And anybody telling you to hate your neighbor or to fear somebody because they're different, somebody telling you that transgender people are the next big horrible thing. Like, for example, a pope saying that transgender people is like colonization. When they, everybody knows. It is so clear what the Catholic Church did around colonization. That this guy that we're still calling Father, and in a denomination where women still have no power, says that I am the ultimate threat and that I am trying to demean and harm people. Well, just like Donald Trump, he was looking in the mirror and pointing his finger at somebody else. I exist. People like me have always existed. And we've always been erased. And to the point that we were murdered, right? And erased. You saw them remove us from the government documents recently. And then when we say that that's happened over and over in history, you clutch your pearls. There's enormous change happening in the world. God is doing enormous, wonderful things. With AI, you're scared of that. Transgender people, you're scared of that. Hispanic people, people crossing borders, you're afraid of that. You're afraid of everything because you don't believe in God. Or, I don't know, you're afraid of everything because you believe in male superiority. And you believe in the sanctity of nuclear family. Even though you can look around you all day long, every day, and know that across the world, the most dangerous place for women and children is inside their own home. You can point your fingers at cisgender people. You can point your fingers at immigrants. You can point your fingers at whoever. But the most crime, the most damage, and the most harm that comes to human beings is inside their own home by cisgender men. You can say that transgender people will act this way and that and the other while you're comparing them and saying they're acting like a cisgender man. You can say that me going into a bathroom makes that bathroom dangerous because a cisgender man might pretend to be like me and act like themselves. You know how they act. Everything that you accuse somebody else of being, you're saying that they might act the way your brother acted yesterday. And yet, you don't do anything about the way your brother's acting. Because that's just the way it is. It's a natural order. The way it's always been. Pushing your problems down on other people and calling it justice. Being afraid of difference and calling it justice. Being afraid of every little thing. Being afraid of a loving God that you think is going to cast you into eternal damnation if you step out of line a little bit because they love you. And all of that is just justification for you to convince yourself that your triggered ass father, when he was being triggered and abusive, was loving you. No. When that person hit you in your past, when you hit your child, that was not love. And, continuing these systems so that you don't have to look in the mirror and apologize to your kid for hitting them because you lost your temper. You attributing that to a God of love. You taking your bad behavior and making it about religion. It's some weak-ass bullshit. You continuing to believe that you're subservient to any other human being on this, or any other being on this earth, is your own fear. Conservatives have been right for a long time, and liberals have been, and other people have been confused. Gay people, transgender people, all different people are a danger to male superiority. As the Pope said, we are a danger to the category of man himself. We are a danger to that person that loves to call themselves father and be in charge of all the things. All that person that has so much wealth while we don't have any place to live. Calling marginalized folks an existential threat. Similarly to I think the Pope said something similar in 1490 something. I think they said that any country that was not Christian, or any people that weren't Christian, were subject to colonization. We are a danger to the nuclear family and heteronormativity. We are a danger to male superiority. We are a danger to categorizing people by difference and being afraid of people because of their difference. We are a danger to this world of extraction and people being self-centered. Because we won't conform. We won't assimilate. And we're different. That's why we're a danger. But instead of seeing our difference in what we actually have achieved and what we've gone through, you assume we're going to act like you. And that's what you're afraid of.